I'm just getting my my first engine started, so I'm a little bit behind you. All right.
Uh, 2 green jet.
All right, brother. I don't even have all my shit turned on, so. Okay. All right. So good job. You got your tack and set up. Everything's looking good so far, man.
What's the difference between Yankee and X-ray?
I don't believe there is a difference. There could be, but it's just another band, kind of a different. As far as we're concerned, it's the same thing, but it's kind of a different.
Kind of like AM and FM.
No, those are real differences between those radio sets, but like it's just a different way to differentiate between the two, to the extent of my knowledge, and I could be wrong about that. So the best answer there is I don't believe there's like a legit difference, but as far as in the plane is concerned, I believe one of them just kind of pushes you. So, for example, you can go 1 through 100 and have all those filled up, and now you go, I want another set. So you just go from X. So you can go 1 through 100 on X-ray. Now you can just do 1 through 100 on Yankee.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense.
Yep.
All right, let me see. I believe I'm green jet. I'm not sure. Got that done, that done. I'm not going to worry about this too much. All right, brother, I am green jet. Let's go ahead and get ready to start taxiing. Katasi traffic, Eagle 1, flight of 2 F-15s, taxi, Eagle Park into runway 7, Katasi traffic. Nope.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks. Chief, remove the wheel chocks. Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
All right, buddy, I'm taxiing.
All right.
So as far as these formations are concerned, did you have any questions about anything before we get in the air? Pretty confident about
Mm,
things.
I'm pretty confident about the formation flying.
All right. This would be my first flight this whole week, man. Been a little busy with work. So,
Is it hard?
my job?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not hard. I mean, after any time in any profession, a lot of it is repetition, and then just trying
Yeah.
to be honest, and you'll kind of, to be honest with me, working with different people and personalities is probably I think that's the hardest part about work, since I've been working my whole life, actually. I mean, just different people, different personalities, trying to have everything mesh is a lot more difficult to me than the actual job itself.
What do you do for your work?
I'm an air traffic controller.
Oh, cool. Are you like a military ATC or?
Yeah, I do. Oh, I'm a contractor right now, but pretty much I've been working with the military. All of my ATC has been with the military for the most part. What about you, man? What do you do?
Uh, try and pass my EMT certification. Otherwise, I'm just working at a hotel. Try and get that certification done so I can get into the first responder.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it looks like seems like an exciting job.
Yeah, exciting is one way to put it. It's definitely, I guess it's one job that I'll never get bored of, you know?
Yeah,
Always see something new.
for sure. Different scenarios.
Oh, yeah. All right, 2 ready for takes out or takeoff.
Okay. Kadasi traffic, Eagle 1 flight 2 F-15s departing runway 07 at this time. Will be departing the airspace to the east. Kadasi traffic. All right, leads rolling.
Two's rolling.
Leads airborne, wheels up, flaps up. You airborne? Hello?
Headset just died, or mic just died.
Okay. Everything good now? You with me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm getting charged real quick.
Okay. Kadasi traffic, Eagle 1 flight 2 departing airspace to the east. Climbing through 2,500 at this time. Kadasi traffic. I see you're moving into position. Let me know when your headset's good to go.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. What happened?
Try to steer while
Did it just come
I have
unplugged?
a external. No, I have an external microphone. And it runs on a battery. It connects wirelessly to my computer. But when I'm on VR, I can talk still without using like my regular mic.
Okay.
And it just died. I just haven't used it in a while. All right, 2 set,
2 Roger. 2 switch sides, go.
2 switching sides. A little closer. That was almost bad. Might be a little bit rusty on this. Whatever, I got back in position. All right, 2 set.
2 Roger. Alright, tell me about your sight picture and what you're looking for in the wedge formation.
A laser from the upper leaning edge of your. Oh, you're turning. From the upper leaning edge of your right wing. Kind of like a straight down laser into my aircraft. About maybe 2 aircrafts apart, preferably.
Distance
Just trying to stay.
isn't as important as the position, but yeah, sure, that works. 2 works.
And about just maintaining that area with the laser.
Okay. 2 switch sides, go.
2 switching sides.
All you gotta do is say it's 2.
Okay. Two set.
2 Roger. Two close up formation, go.
2. Closer. Was not paying attention. I was trying to set my lights because I forgot to do that. Alright. 2 set.
2 Roger. 2, spread left formation, reference 090, go.
2. Two set.
2, roger. Two, switch sides, go.
2 switching sides. Up, I guess 2.
Slow down your cadence. You're doing things too fast. I don't know what's going on, but slow down. Everything's good. Just stay relaxed.
Two set.
2, roger. Okay, so you see how when you started I had you close up in the wedge formation and you were, I'd say, I don't know, 2 aircraft lengths, and then now look at the distance that there is between us. You've gotten no instructions to kick out at all, so, you know, that first time I had you go to the spread on the left side, you automatically kicked out for some reason. So just keep all that in mind. You know what I mean? You don't want to. You want to maintain what you have unless you get instructions to do so, or obviously if you request to kick out or close up. You know what I'm saying? Just keep that in mind. Don't just take it by on your own onus to open up the formation or close it up, whatever the case may be. But yeah, because it's pretty hard now. I mean, I could see you're about there, but as far as how well you are with your positioning, you're so far away. I know we're about on track together, but you see what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
So 2, close up formation, go.
2.
Looking real good on that side, though. Looking really good. All right, so go back wedge right. Go.
2. Two set.
2, lead simulated, engage defensive.
Oh, two lost. Nope, never mind. Too
Yeah.
visual.
Roger. Alright, very nice.
Heads up lost tracking for a second, so I couldn't see anything.
Got it back together pretty good, so don't worry about it. Let's start heading to the north. Alright, so got a little bit of rust shaking off, feeling good?
A little bit. Came back into a little bit of formation. Haven't really done much formation ever since we did it, so.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I'm getting back into it now.
Alright, so I'm going to start talking about these different turns, and at any time that you something doesn't make sense or you're kind of confused about what I'm saying, or if I sound like a complete retard like usual, just let me know, and I'll stop and kind of try to go over it a little better with you. Alright?
Alright.
So the hook turn is, you ever played football at all?
Yeah.
So you know the wide receivers, they have a hook route, button
Yeah.
hook, you know what I mean, where you can do a 5-step hook, 10, whatever the case may be. The hook turn is pretty much the same thing, where, as far as if you imagine the route or what the formation is going to do. It's the same thing as a J hook that a wide receiver would run in football. And essentially what we're doing is we're pointing our nose in one direction. Now let's say, for example, on our RWR, our twos, we get a spike that something's off of our 6 o'clock. Instead of me just turning by myself and having you kind of go with me, one of the things we can do is do a hook turn. And essentially what that's going to do is have both of us simultaneously turning at the same time to get both of us oriented onto that bandit as quickly as possible, or bogey. So the command would be for the hook turn, for us to do it, would be to hook turn reference, and then I give a heading. So for example, I go to hook turn reference 180, and on the command to go, you'd acknowledge by saying 2, and on the command to go, we both spark up in burner, make that left turn, and turn to a 180 on the heading. Normally about 4G turn would be about normal, especially with us being in burner, but that's going to vary depending on our altitudes and what the aircraft can kick out. So
Yeah.
does that all make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and practice a couple of these hook turns. So again, the command is to hook turn or flight hook turn, depending on if I'm with just more than you. Reference, and then I'll give a reference heading, and then go. And again, when you hear go, you're sparking up, you're acknowledging by saying 2, and then we're just going to stay in the turn until we get on the heading that I give out. And as soon as you get on that heading, just come out of burner. All right?
Alright.
All right, so here we go. 2 left hook turn, actually 2 kick out.
2. 2 set.
2 roger. 2 left hook turn, reference 180, go.
2.
The trick here is not to let your nose come down too far, but alright. Leads rolled out, 180 on the heading. You still with me, Tom? Alright, I'm gonna assume your mic went out again.
2 set. Should be. Yep.
Okay, I hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, my mic went out.
Okay.
This mic. Alright. 2 set.
Roger. Did all that make sense? Were you able to keep visual with me the whole time? And
Yeah.
I saw you a little
slow
high.
turn. Yeah, I was a little bit high up.
It's
little late
okay.
on the burn.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll do a couple more of these, a couple, 3 more. All right. 2, right hook turn, reference 360, go.
2. Oh. Yeah, not getting used to that whatsoever.
All right, leads rolled out, 360 on the heading. Out of burner. So
doing that by itself, I can do. It's just with someone else, it's a little bit tricky.
well, that's the beauty of this, because so this, as far as distance, this is about normal. Just to be clear, like, you're usually not on me as close as you were that last time, for specifically the reason what you just happened. So don't try to close up all fancy and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just keep a little bit more distance. But the beauty of this is you don't have to worry about anybody else, because so me doing it right now, I can just crank the aircraft over and do a turn, and as my wingman, you're assigned to just go with me, right?
Yeah.
But this kind of detaches you from me for a second as you're doing the turn, because you're not telling. The command is essentially saying, "Hey, don't worry about looking at me. I want you pointing in the other direction as quickly as possible." Does that make sense?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So you're not really rolled out on me. We're pretty much individuals until we get rolled out, and then that's why I'm calling rolled out of burner, etc. So so you don't have to say out of burner and all that, but just at least let me know when you're rolled out. All right.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So here we go. 2, left hook turn, reference 180, go.
2.
All right, leads rolled out, 180. Yeah, that's when.
Okay, 2 roll. 2 rolled out.
Okay.
2 set.
2, roger. Does it make sense to you, brother?
Yeah. So after we hit the head and we say 2, I say 2 rolled out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd stay with you a lot. Okay, once I understood that, like, okay, yeah, I can do that a lot better now.
It's all good, man. That's what we're practicing, so don't worry about it. 2, right hook turn, reference 360, go.
2.
There you go. Watch your nose dropping too much.
Two rolled out.
Leads rolled out, 360 on the heading.
2 less visual.
Okay, 360 on the heading, 16.5 for me. Popping flares.
2 visual.
Okay. To left hook turn, reference 180, go.
2.
Alright, so I want you to focus on the flight path vector, which is this circle. Trying as your best to keep it on the horizon line. Alright, leads rolled out, 180.
2 rolled out. 180.
Alright, right 1 o'clock, a little low. So you know what I'm talking about as far as the, looks like you didn't gain or lose too much altitude there, but you know what I'm talking about as far as keeping the nose on the horizon, the flight path
Yeah,
vector?
I didn't really do that last time.
Okay.
I did it now, and I'm about on the same altitude as you, so.
Okay. Let's give it one more try, and then we'll move on to the tag turn. 2 left hook turn, reference 360, go.
2.
All right, leads rolled out, 360 on the heading.
2 rolled out, 360.
Okay, got me in sight. Left 10 o'clock level.
2 visual.
Okay. So is there any questions that you have about the hook turn?
No.
All right, so the tag turn is pretty much the same thing, but like I said, it's going to be less than 180 degrees. So I can make it 120 degrees. I can make it 45 degrees. Normally we're doing about 45 degree to 90 degree turns. So that's typically about how we do them. And to be honest, a lot of times during these flights, we won't even do it. A lot of times, because of the fact I'm tag saturated with doing other stuff, normally I'll just turn myself, and we don't use tack or hook turns too much. All right, so same commands essentially, but obviously instead of saying hook turn, I'll be saying tack turns, and then I'll give a reference just like last time. So a tack turn command would be as follows: 2 left tack turn, reference 270090, whatever the case may be. And then go, and then same as last time, spark it up in burner, acknowledge, and then roll out on the heading that I give. Any questions?
Nope.
All right, so let's give her a shot. Let's start a tack turn. So 2 left tack turn, reference 270, go.
2. 2 rolling out.
2 leads rolled out, 270.
2 set.
2 roger. Okay. 2 right tack turn, reference 360, go.
2.
2 rolled out,
2
360.
rolling out.
Okay. I'm a little bit behind you.
2 visual.
Okay. 2 right tack turn, reference 090, go.
2. 2 rolling out.
Leads rolled out, 090. 2 right tack turn, reference 180, go.
2.
Rolled out, 180.
2 rolling out.
Does it all make sense?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so let's start your curveball. 2 left hook turn, reference 360, go.
2.
2 rolled out,
2
360.
rolling out.
Roger. 2 left attack turn, reference 270, go.
2. Two rolling out.
Leads rolled out 270. Alright, 2, right hook turn, reference 090, go.
2. Two rolling out.
Leads rolled out 090.
2 lost visual. 2 visual.
Okay. Alright, let's start RTB, and man, you're good to go with that stuff. Do you have any questions about any of it?
Nope.
Alright, talk to me about the steer point that's going to get us back to the base.
Steer point Bravo.
Alright, let's go ahead.
And just steer point Bravo. I'm not sure why it's Bravo, but it is.
Okay, that's alright. We're going to roll out here in a few moments. Let's go ahead and get that dialed in whenever you get a chance. And, yeah, we are RTB, man. Good job.
Alright.
Alright, so in the meantime, I just want you to work on your formation work. Just do what you want to do. We've got about 90, 100 miles to wait to in the vicinity of the base. So, from this point forward, like I said, we'll always be returning in the overhead, and this will be your last flight using VC. So we're going to be, matter of fact, it'd probably be a good idea to get our SRS set up now. That is, if you
That way
have
I
to,
can do it next time.
yeah, or either or, man. It's okay one way or the other. So talk to me about the where you can find the information for the distance as well as ETA for you to get to steer point Bravo.
Air to ground or navigation, it doesn't matter. In the bottom right where it says 88.5 is going to be our distance from it. But if you look at your 2 to the bottom right, you can see where it says 0.B. Heading is going to be 244. Distance is 87. And our timer until arrival is about 10 minutes.
Alright, perfect. Really good. Really good job. Okay, so the overhead is used. So when we were setting up for the straight in, it takes a lot more time to complete the approach, whereas the overhead is used to kind of get fighters in expeditiously. Typically the lowest speed you're going to do until you get into the break is about 300 knots. The pattern speed is about 350 knots. Doesn't matter too much, but you do have some bases that will assign you airspeed, and again, those speeds will normally fall between anywhere between 300 to 350 knots. The pattern altitude, meaning the altitude you need to be at when you're at initial, normally is at 1,500 feet AGL, but there's a way that you kind of calculate that prior to getting to the traffic pattern, but it's normally about 1,500 feet above MSL. So whatever the airfield elevation is, you'll normally add 1,500 to that, and that's how you'll calculate what your altitude is going to be at.
All right.
As you saw in the video, typically you'll just fly down. The short of it, in layman's terms, we'll fly down the center line pretty much get lined up with the runway and fly towards the runway at a roughly 1,500 feet above the airfield elevation, which on the Strike Eagle, it has a radar altimeter that actually turns on at about 1,500 feet. So we'll just keep coming down until the radar altimeter illuminates and shows, and it'll be on the right side of your HUD. And the airspeed that we want to be at is again anywhere between 300 to 350 knots. A little bit of wiggle room there. But yeah, we'll fly down the runway. ATC will approve us for the overhead. We'll fly down get lined up with the runway and fly towards the runway at that airspeed and altitude. When we're roughly 3 miles from the field, we'll call initial. Initial per the book is anywhere between 3 to 5 miles from the airfield. But ATC can also say report 2 mile initial. They can say report 7 mile initial. But yeah, so you'll report that. But if they say nothing, normally you'll report initial anywhere between 3 to 5 miles from the airfield. We'll be assigned a brake by ATC, but if we have no ATC available, just like now, we'll just pick whichever direction we're going to brake. So for example, right now you're set up to the right. If we're doing initial and you're set up to the right, and I want to brake to the right, I'd have to have you switch sides, because we're always going to brake away from each other. If hopefully that makes sense. And let's see what else. Yeah, so when I brake, all you're going to do is carry forward. You're going to stay on that heading over the runway. You're going to count to 5, and then you're going to brake behind me. When I brake, I normally do not manipulate the power or the throttle at all. I'll leave the throttle as is. And then normally from, let's say I start my brake at 300 knots, 350 knots. Normally I'll roll out at about 240, 230 knots. So as soon as I roll out, because I'm now beneath my my max speed for my landing gear to come down, I'll just put my landing gear and my flaps down right away as soon as I get rolled out. And from there, you'll be behind me. So we'll be pretty much in what's called the downwind. So you'll be behind me. From there, I'm just trying to maintain about anywhere between 200 to 230 knots while I'm in the downwind. And then, like you said, when I intercept 45 degrees from the runway, kind of looking back, when I intercept 45 degrees, I'll just turn base to final. I'll push the nose down roughly 2.5 degrees. I'll bring in power, meaning increase power, just so I can stay anywhere between 200 and just maintain that between 200 and 230 knots. And then when I get rolled out on final, I'll adjust as necessary to touch down at roughly, I don't know, depending on the weight of the aircraft. 200 is usually a comfortable weight for me, so I'll try to shoot for about 200 to anywhere between 190 to 200 pounds, depending on the weight of the aircraft. I'll try to touch down at that airspeed right before.
All right.
Looks like I am coming left. Okay, so we'll start coming to the left here, adjusting, getting lined up. I was already adjusted, but yapping away like I'm always doing. So we got us a little bit offline. Katasi traffic, Eagle 1 flight of 2 F-15s, roughly 40 miles to the east of the airfield, inbound for runway 25, full stop for the overhead. Katasi traffic. I know I said a lot there, but does that all make sense to you?
Yeah.
Alright. So, okay, what's our distance from the airfield right now? Ish?
37 miles.
Alright, so we're pretty much outside the airspace. We're coming up to it. About to enter here in a little bit. All we're doing is trying to get lined up with the runway. I've got visual with the airfield. And what I'm attempting to do outside of getting lined up is now I'm sitting there worrying about my airspeed and I'm worrying about my altitude. So we're slowly coming down and I'm slowly bringing the power back. Right now I'm only at 74% for the RPM, so the airspeed should be coming back. The number that I have in mind for obviously the overhead is going to be between what and what?
300 to 200.
300 to 200?
Or
No.
250 to 350.
No. So for initial, we want to be between 300 to 350 knots.
Right.
Don't
For
worry
the
about-
initial, and then for the
For landing, I think, no, for the air brake, for not damaging your gear, you want to be beneath 250.
right.
And then, like I said, I want to touch down. So I guess those are a lot of numbers. I want to touch down anywhere between, I want to touch down at roughly 200 knots, give or take 10 knots, all right?
Okay. So initial, I want to be between 300 and 350,
Yes.
and then I want to be below 250 for my landing, and then I want to be around 200 knots for the landing itself.
Yes. I want to be beneath
Okay.
250 just to put the landing gear down. And then 200, give or take 10 knots, is about where I want to be, depending on the weight of the aircraft for landing.
Okay.
All right, so I've got my speed. I don't want it to get too slow. So I'm happy with the speed, just coming down with the altitude. The airfield is off our nose to 1230-ish. I've got it in sight. Well, because you're set up to the right side, which way we're going to brake?
I'm brake to the. I'm braking to the right.
Nope.
You're gonna brake to the left.
Nope, you're always going to brake the same direction as your flight lead. You will never go different
Okay,
directions.
so brake to the left then. Wait, I'm confused now.
Okay, we'll talk
So-
about it. Go ahead.
Okay. So we brake to the left, because we don't want to brake the same direction, right? If like.
So I want you to imagine what we're doing now, right? So if you look off our nose, we've got the runway, right? We are going to brake,
Yep.
right? But if I were to brake right, right now, I'd turn into you and likely crash into you.
Yep.
So if I want to brake to the right, I've got to tell you to switch. Matter of fact, go ahead, switch sides, go.
To switch. So then we'd brake to
Katasi
the
traffic,
left.
Eagle 1 flight of 2, 15-mile initial for runway 25, Katasi traffic. So you're on the left side now. There's no way I'm going to brake to the left. So because if I brake now, I'm going to fly right into you. But either way, you're going to brake to the same. You're just your wingman, so you're going to do the same thing I do. But it'd be foolish of me to brake into you because I'm going to smack into you. So again, let's start coming down a little bit more. We're getting lined up for the runway now. We're a little bit to the right of it, so I'm adjusting to the left.
So then we would be braking to the right now.
You don't have to ever guess. I'm gonna tell you each time which way we're gonna brake, but
Okay.
I want it to make sense in your mind to you. I'm not
So I
going
know what
to.
they're thinking.
Yeah, I'm not going to brake into you right now. I'm not going to turn left hard into you. That would make no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it'd be, we'd likely hit each other. But just for the purpose of this being your first time, like I said, we're going to brake to the right. Throttle is all the way back. I'm coming down. I'm looking at the right side of my HUD. I'm waiting for the radar altimeter to come on, which lets me know I'm about 500 feet. I'm starting slowly pushing the throttle. Airspeed was coming down a bit, so I'm going to hold about right there. I'm within the 300 to 350 window, so I'm good with that. I want to keep coming down. All right, so if you look on the right side of the HUD, radar altimeter should be coming on soon. There it is, just came on. At this point, I'm leveling out. So I've got airspeed looking good, and my altitude is looking good. I'm in good parameters. Airspeed's coming back a little quicker than I'd like. Throttle's coming forward just a hair. All right, everything is set up nice. So when I get over the runway, when I get over the what's called the approach end of the runway, I'm going to turn or brake to the right. You're going to continue flying on this heading for 5 seconds. You're going to count to 5, and then you're going to brake to the right. That makes sense?
Okay. Yep.
All right.
So is there any comms for that, or do I just automatically do it?
No, I take care of all the comms. You're doing pretty much all internal comms. Katasi traffic, Eagle 1 flight of 2 initial, runway 25, Katasi traffic. All right, so I'm over the runway. I'm braking to the right. I'm not touching the throttle. And I'm going to roll out on a 050. After 5 seconds, you're going to do the same thing. All right, there's 050-ish. I'm hitting G and F, so gear and flaps are down. I'm pushing the throttle slowly, very slowly forward, maintaining 220-ish knots. And now I'm looking back at the runway, looking for that 45-degree angle. I think I'm off just a hair. Nope, the heading is 070. Sorry about that. So that's why it looked wrong.
So I'll turn to heading 070 for this.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That 05 was incorrect. So again, I'm double checking everything. I've got the gear down, got my flaps down, maintaining airspeed. Altitude is about the same, so everything's looking good. I'm looking at the runway, pretending like there's a line coming out from it at about a 45-degree angle, which is about there. I'm going to start turn, what's called base. Katachi traffic, Eagle 1, flight of 2, right base gear, full stop, runway 25, Katachi traffic. Now, as I'm making this, I'm pushing the nose down 2.5 degrees, and I'm constantly having to look back at the runway to make adjustments so that this is more of a art as opposed to a science, so that I get rolled out, lined up with the runway. All right, so I overshot a little bit too much. Throttle's coming back. And now again, I'm trying to maintain both that rollout speed and obviously I'm looking at the runway, so I got to adjust my angle as well. Hopefully it's making sense.
That makes sense.
All right. So now my airspeed's 220. It's a wee bit high. I'm coming off the gas a little bit, and now it's creeping down. I'm just pushing the throttle forward. So on final, I'm maintaining about 215. I'm holding what I got, trying to get lined up. All right, and as I'm getting closer, I'm pulling the throttle back, acknowledge low altitude. Again, I'm shooting for 200. As I get pretty close to final, air brake is coming on now. Doing a last second flare, throttle's all the way back, and we are down. I can air brake up to about 10 degrees nose up. Excuse me, about 12, I believe. The right side of the runway is what we call the hot side. I need to get this thing stopped. And that's the side of the runway we want to move to once the aircraft is under control. Excuse me, the left side is the hot side, meaning that's the side that we want to roll to. Just so, for example, like remember our first flight, we both pretty much ran off the runway?
Yeah.
If one of us had control, we want to be on the right side, which is the side closest to the taxi line, and the guy that's out of control wants to be on the left side.
Okay. So I landed in the middle, so you don't want to do that.
No, you can land in the middle, but once you want to start moving to the right. So once you're geared down and you're like, okay, dude, I'm gonna make it. Everything's looking good. Then you want to slowly just start drifting to the right. But for example, if you're going, I'm out of control. I don't know if I'm gonna make this taxiway. Then you'd opt to move to the left.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Let's call it here. Do you want to work with your SRS a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I have a question about the hood.
Okay.
So I have a base understanding of everything inside the HUD. It's just the infinity symbol underneath your speed. What is that?
The VV? Is that what you're talking about? Vertical?
I think so. It's the one where it says like 9.3. It's like going up and down for 9 point.
So it's your
Underneath how many nuts?
Right. So you should see a VV. I think that's what you're talking. Oh no! You're talking about underneath the speed. I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Where it's like that infinity symbol that's cut out.
Yeah, I think that's your. I think that's your AOA. I think the aircraft on the ground is standing at 9.5 degrees nose up. So yeah, that's kind of letting you know your angle of attack, I believe. I don't pay attention to it at all.
Yeah, I don't either. I was just curious about it. I completely, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense because when I looked down at the AOA for the actual like physical, what's it called? like instrument at the very bottom left, right next to master arm, it's about 9, which is the same for that. So
Yeah. Yeah, so what it's telling me right now is that the aircraft sits 9.5 degrees, 9 to 9. I mean, it's popping, it's moving a lot, so I don't know. It sits 9.5 nose up, but that's just a guess. I know guys will say on final, when you're lined up for final, they want you at like a certain AOA, 17 to 22 degrees. But to be honest, only thing I'm looking at on final is the flight path vector, and I'm kind of looking at the rate of descent and how all that's going to match up. That's why I say it's kind of an art as opposed to a science. But yeah, I don't use it, to be honest. All right, let's hop out of this. I'll meet you in Discord, and what we'll do is just kind of walk through. I want you to just select another role, and we'll start walking you through getting your SRS set up, all right?
all right, cool.
All right, man.